Hello. So I've put together a nice little core workout for you. We're going to begin on our back, so just come down with bent knees. So we're going to take the feet flat, about hip width apart, and just gently rest the hands by the side of the body. We're going to start with some nice pelvic curls, just really to start to warm the lower part of the abdominals. So all we're going to do is just curl the pelvis in, so just rolling up, we're not lifting off the floor here, and then roll it away. As you roll away, just see if you can feel a nice little arch into the lower back. So curling in and out, and in and out. So just a nice little bit of pelvic rocking here. Good, then relax into a neutral position, so halfway in between the two. We're just going to lift the bum about 1 inch or 2 off the floor. And we're going to do a little bit of walking the pelvis now. So just dropping one butt cheek down to the ground, gentle squeeze up, and then the other butt cheek. So not coming too high. We're just getting that little bit of movement through the hips. Good, let's do one more each side. Lovely, and then slowly lowering the bum down. Taking the hands behind the head now, just fingertips resting on the back of the head. And as we go through this movement, try not to really force the head up with the hands. So we're just using it for a little bit of support. And we're going to tuck the chin into the chest, keeping the elbows nice and wide. So you're going to look through your legs, little squeeze of the abdominals at the top now, and then slowly lower down. Breathing out as you roll up, tuck the chin, squeeze, elbows nice and wide, and roll back down. Good. Breathing out and in. Nice and slow and steady. Tucking the chin, curling up and off the floor, and releasing down. Breathing out and in. Good. We'll go 3 more. And 2. Nice little squeeze at the top. Last one. Lovely. And then slowly releasing down. Hands by the side now, so palms are facing down towards the floor. We're going to tuck the chin, curl off the floor, so we're in this lifted position. Again, we're looking through the knees, and then we're just going to send the fingertips away a little bit. So coming more into a pulse here. We're going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release. You can just take those arms up overhead, lengthen the legs out if you wish, have a breath. And then we're going to do those again. So hands by the side, 1 inch or 2 off the floor, palms facing down. Tuck the chin as we roll up, and then just send the fingertips away. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Releasing back down. Good. Hopefully that's started to get you nice and warm through those tummy muscles. Hands resting by the side of the body now, and we're going to come with the legs into a tabletop position. So taking the knees roughly above the hips and shins roughly parallel to the floor. So what we don't want is the knees rolling all the way into the chest. So we're just going to do toe taps from here, using your breath again. So we inhale to prepare. We exhale as we tap the toes down to the floor. Try and keep the angle of the knee the same, so you're not kind of tapping in close to the bum or a little bit further away. Inhale as you come back up. Exhaling, we're going to go other leg. Inhale, back up. So as you take the leg away, just see if you can maintain a little bit of an imprint through that lower spine into the floor. So focus on the back, finding that connection. Breathing out. And in. Good. And out. And in. Good. Working with the breath. Focus on that lower back. So just really engaging. Breathing out and in. Good, we'll do 1 more each side. So working slightly lower here into the hip flexors as well. Good, and release. Just draw the knees into the chest, take a moment. Good, okay, from here we're going to do the 100. So we're going to come with those hands by the side of the body. And we're working with the breath here, but slightly different. So you can imagine that you're patting your hands on a pool of water, and we're going to count for 5 for a breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 for a breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to start with the legs in that tabletop position again. So knees above the hips. And we're just going to start just with the arms. So breathing out for 5, and then in for 5, and out for 5, and in for 5. Good. And then maybe we're just going to roll the head and the chest off the floor and come here. So out for 5, and in for 5. Nice and long through those arms. Out for 5, and in for 5. Good. Keep that going. Good. One more. Breathe out for 5, and in for 5, and then slowly release and back down. Again, knees into the chest. It is called 100. We're supposed to do 100 breaths. I'm not quite sure how many we did there, but somewhere in the region of. Good. Okay. From here, we're going to gently just rock yourself up into a seated position. So just bringing the hands onto the back of the thighs, and we're going to rock ourselves all the way up. Okay, from here, we're going to do some little roll downs. We're going to start with a half roll down. So taking the feet about hip width apart, nice and tall through the body. You can have the hands on the backs of the legs to start if you wish. We'll begin there. So we're just going to curl the chin, rounding through the spine. So the tailbone tucks under. We find this nice little C curl through the spine, still hanging onto the legs if you wish. And we roll halfway down, and then very slowly we'll roll ourselves all the way back up and come into an upright seated position. So, and again, tucking the chin, rounding through the spine. Allow yourself to come back any amount as far as you think you can, and then coming back up. So perhaps we take the arms out in front. You can keep them to the legs if you prefer. So we find that nice little roll down, and then coming all the way back up. Breathing out as you roll down, curling through the spine, in on the way back up. Good. One more like this. Good. Keeping those feet to the floor and bring it all the way back up. Good. Okay, now we're going to try and roll down nice and controlled to the floor. So arms out or hands on the back of the thighs still if you wish. So we're going to slowly roll ourselves down, curling. And as we start to hit the floor, imagine going vertebrae by vertebrae. So starting through the lower back, and then you work your way up the back. And we come all the way down to the floor. We're going to float the arms up overhead. Thumbs touch the floor overhead. And then we're going to work that in reverse. So taking the arms, lifting through the chin. Your feet are going to want to come off the floor here as we roll ourselves up. And maybe as we come to the top, we can just take those arms up overhead. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide, and let's take a little fold. Good. And then coming back up. So take those knees back in, about hip width apart, tuck the chin. Let's roll it all the way down. Find that sequential movement through the spine, starting with the lower back, working your way through the mid back. It's super controlled. Upper back, shoulders. Let's float those arms up overhead. And then we go in reverse, taking those arms, tucking the chin. We start to roll up, upper back, mid back, little squeeze as you lift off the floor there. Take the arms up overhead, soles of the feet together. Let's take a little fold forward. And again, coming up, plant the feet, knees bent. Let's curl it all the way down. And we're going to come all the way to the floor this time. Take the arms overhead. Good. And then just bring the hands by the side of the body. Just bringing the heels in a little bit closer towards the bum here. We're going to lift the head and the chest off the floor. Again, we're kind of looking through the knees. We're going to come into some little penguins here. So little toe tap, heel tap, sorry, reach around. So we're just going to keep the head and the chest lifted off the floor, tapping the heels. So we start to get a nice crunch a little bit through the obliques here. Good. We'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it down. take a little rest and breathe. Good, and then we're going to do those again. So curling the chin up, looking through, and then we start to tap. Nice little crunch side to side. Good, we'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it all the way down. Good. Stretch those legs out if you want, or draw the knees into the chest, whatever feels good. Breathe. Good, and then we're going to take those legs back into that tabletop position. And this time maybe taking the arms out into a bit of a T. So we're going to do a little rotation. Squeeze the knees together, squeeze the feet together. We're going to come over to the side, but I want you to be really slow and controlled here. So we have complete control over the knees. We're not letting them kind of like flump down to the floor. Super, 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 super controlled. Maybe not coming all the way to the floor. And then big squeeze as you bring them back up to center. So again, we're just working those obliques a little bit. Just be mindful of your lower back, so don't take it too far. If you start to feel any strain through the lower back, just back off a little bit. Good, and back through the center. So super, super slow. Try and keep those knees pressed together, feet together. Good, squeeze through the center and over the other side. And maybe one side feels a bit better than the other. That's completely normal. Good, try and keep the shoulder blades to the floor as well if you can. Breathing out as you come over. Good, in as you squeeze back up. And again, out and over. And in, back up. We'll do one more each side. Out and over. Last time. Good, and then coming back through center. Just take a moment just to ease off. Lovely, okay, we're going to come up into a boat pose now. So coming into a seated position. So a couple of options. Have the feet slightly further away. So maybe we're just here with the toes kind of tapped to the floor and leaning back slightly. So it is a hold. It's an isometric hold position. Maybe we can take those feet off the floor. Perhaps shins get parallel to the floor. Perhaps we're dangling the toes a little bit further down. Work with whatever you can do, whatever you can manage. Keep nice and lifted through the chest. Leaning back slightly. And if it feels okay, we're going to take those arms out. Good. Maybe just taking it a little bit further back if you can. But again, be mindful of the lower back. Try and stay nice and lifted through the chest. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And bring it back in. Just wrapping the hands around the shins. Maybe allow the head to fall down in between the knees. Take a breath here. Good. And then we're going to come into that again. So nice and lifted through the spine. Perhaps start with the hands on the backs of the legs. Get yourself into that position. Leaning back slightly, chest lifted. And then arms out. 10, 9, breathe. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring it back in. Good. Just wrapping the hands around the legs. From here, we're going to roll ourselves back down onto our back, nice and slowly. Arms behind the thighs or out in front. Tuck the chin. Find that sequential movement through the spine as you come down. All the way to the floor. Lovely. And then we're just going to come into a nice little twist to finish, a little stretch out. So just taking the knees, feet in, so the knees are bent. And take the feet about mat width apart. And then just very gently let the knees rock to one side. The shoulder blades stay to the floor. We just come into a nice little twist for those abs. Nice for the lower back as well here. Good. And then all the way up and over to the other side. Good, and then coming up through center. From here, just making your way back up into a seated position. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. Thank you for joining me.